G'day Bomber fans. Well, our season starts with a loss. The Bombers were plucky, we were right in the game, but the Hawks in the end were just too good. They were the better and classier team than Essendon under Friday Night Lights at the MCG to kick off 2025 for us at least. But I don't think we lost any supporters with that effort. Our young team got even younger and we lost two of our most important players, Ridley and Langford. Those injuries did not help at all. But for us to go out and compete all night with our backs against the wall, I didn't hate watching it. I definitely lost a dislike about the game. There's plenty to dislike, but a lot to like as well. So let's get into it. And of course, as always, leave your votes down below in the comments. Your Everything Essendon Player of the Year award votes, 3-2-1, Essendon players only, and also a role player as well, the guy that you thought deserves some love but didn't get any. Okay, quarter by quarter, the first started really well. It was a proper arm wrestle. There was great heat and intensity displayed by both clubs, not just Essendon. It was tight, it was tense, and it was actually us who got the first goal. Isaac Kako got us on the scoreboard. It was a great moment, great goal, awesome soccer from distance. I love Isaac Kako. It got the crowd up and about, but I feel like it did also get the Hawks up and about too. There was a bit of a switch flicking moment that they really came to play after that. They amped up the heat. They started really getting run on the footy. They were testing us with their entries. They made that G as wide as possible. They kicked the next 6 goals of the quarter, and really I think it came from their back line. They killed our attacks. To be fair, our forward line is small, but they would just kill our attacks in the air and be there on ground level too. It was guys like Amon and Impey. They were just providing so much run for them, and we couldn't keep up. It was a bit of a wake-up call to those small forwards and high midfielders. I thought we were giving it a real crack around the footy. I love the effort around the ball. We were killing them in clearances. Contested footy was good, but we just didn't have the legs, and more importantly, we were not strong enough where it mattered in D50. There were a few really annoying things about the quarter. Pryor losing that one-on-one against Ginnivan. Watson almost taking a contested mark inside 50. There was also Watson finding about 300 metres of space inside 50 for his first goal. So defensively, we were lacking. I thought our intent was really good, but we were just not good enough defensively to handle such a good attacking team. I love the fact that we had such a big advantage in the middle, winning territory, giving the Hawks something to worry about. But good teams would actually make that advantage more than that. So pretty early into the game, we found out that we weren't going to be flag contenders or anything, and that's fine. I didn't expect that to be the case, but it was a good wake-up call. People will talk down Parrish, but experience like that would have been huge in some of those situations. Unfortunately, Sartas and Hobbs just weren't cutting it, so much was being left for Merritt and Caldwell to do, and they can only do so much. So yeah, pretty eye-opening first quarter. The Hawks really put us to the sword, showed us the gap between the two teams, between a great team and, I don't know, an average team or a good team, we don't know yet. They were really dominating despite us having a leg up in so many areas. The second quarter, it looked pretty dire early. Ginnivan kicked an early goal, and then they had all the play after that. It was looking like there could be a cheeky blowout for a bit, but then Jack Scrimshaw sniped Jordan Ridley. Really cheap play, and I think that got the boys up and about. They were pretty mad. We lifted the pressure from there, started to really win some important contests, kicked 3 on the bounce, including a Zach Merritt beauty. We cut the lead to 16 points, and you started to think, okay, maybe we're with a shot here. But then the Hawks, they responded, they woke up again, things started going their way. They did have a few lucky free kicks, which maybe evened out for ones they didn't have earlier in the game. But at the time, it just hurt a little bit more watching. Watson not getting that high free kick in the first quarter doesn't matter. No one's going to talk about that. But everyone is going to be in the comments talking about McGrath's deliberate rush behind, which is just a wild decision to me. So the Hawks did have things go their way, which happens in every game. We had things go our way too. Every team gets a bit of luck here and there. It just so happened theirs came at a bad time for us. And then from there, they got their mojo back. They got a lift in their step. They kicked the next 3 and brought the lead out to 35 points. And look, I know some are going to complain, and some will say that we had 2 goals go against us, but I think that is where the lead deserved to be, maybe 4 to 5 goals. I thought we were in the contest. We were really wasteful. We had some complete plotters going about it, but we were right in the game for most of it. The issue is, when we fell asleep, it was just easy to score against us. We weren't locking the ball inside 50 enough. We weren't creating enough chances. I thought when we did even out, when we had even numbers inside forward 50 and bring the ball in well, we scored or got close, but we just weren't doing that enough. The Hawks were just too professional in that second quarter. At halftime, it did feel like we could get back into the game, but it was obviously going to be a tough task, especially with the massive corky to Caddy and the injury to Ridley, which just really sucks. I now very much dislike Jack Scrimshaw. The third, that was a really good quarter of footy until it wasn't. I don't know. It was So many positives, so many negatives. Everything was going right. We were playing with confidence. We were playing with flair. We were really getting in the game, and it was from the coaching box. We yet again cut down the margin, and more importantly, we were playing good footy, good sustainable footy. Hawthorn had to go back in their shell a bit. We enforced a really high press and got rid of their run. We completely controlled the quarter and the ground. We said, yes, Ridley is off, our defence is smaller, but that doesn't matter if the ball stays in our half. So we made ourselves vulnerable to counter-attacks, but did so by fighting tooth and nail to lock the ball in our half. And for the most part, we did. We were right on top. Langford got an early goal. Jones got us closer. Perkins scored as well. 3-1. We were, again, down by just a few goals, well in the game. And then everything went wrong. Langford did his hamstring, going to collect a footy. Redmond had a shot that would have lifted the non-existent roof off of the MCG. He missed that, and then the Hawks went down the other end, scored. All that momentum was gone, and then they got another goal. They had a beautiful set play from a kick-in as well. I mean, the thing is, we won the quarter, barely, but for me, I don't know, it was a really significant term in a lot of ways for our season and the vibes. I was thinking earlier that we looked really cooked off on our feet, but we went in with a change of play. We put the Hawks on the back foot. I think we really exposed some glaring holes in their game too. After the Sydney win, I was thinking that they were a really the flag contenders, flag favourites maybe. Flag Hawk was real. I think we showed every other team in the comp just how you can beat the Hawks. It was a really impressive quarter of footy. That is the good vibes. Unfortunately, though, it was just a mess with injuries. Obviously, Ridley being concussed, then Langford does his hamstring. I mean, those are our two most important players other than Merritt, so that just absolutely sucked. Great quarter, but not good enough to really close the gap on the scoreline, and obviously those injuries really hurt. So in many ways, it was the best quarter and the worst quarter of the game. And then the fourth, I mean, copy and paste everything I've said about the second and third, because I feel like, I don't know, after quarter time, we were just doing the same thing every quarter. We'd get in the game, we'd reduce that margin, we'd make the Hawks uncomfortable, and then they would score instantly from a centre bounce. I don't know, I feel like it was that 3-goal margin. We would get there, everyone would think, all right, hold the phone. But I mean, I don't know, let's give the Hawks some credit. They responded every time. We really didn't get in a winning position at all after quarter time. We definitely got in spots where we could get into winning positions. One more goal maybe and things would change, but Hawthorn just really knew how to respond every single time. I don't know. They're a very good team, and if they brush up on some things, they can be flag contenders, because this is for the Hawks fans watching now, I guess. But they were really good when it mattered most. They were poor for a lot of the night, but when it mattered, they really got their act together. Yeah, I don't know. Fourth quarter was just kind of the same as the second and third. I really rated us getting close, but in the end, the Hawks were just too good. They ran out 26-point winners, and you know what? If you told me that Ridley and Langford would play less than half a game, go off with injury, and that plenty of players played poorly, I'd think we'd go down by 70 or 80. So the fact that we weren't at our best and still managed a 4 and a bit goal deficit, I'll take it. I think this year, a lot of what happens will be around vibes and not results. We're so youngest in the comp this week, by the way, I believe, actually. I saw someone post that we had the youngest named team. Correct me if I'm wrong. So to see the kids fight it out till the end, that's good stuff. Yes, I would love the win. Yes, I'd love to get closer, but I thought we showed real intent and effort all night. Okay, so the game as a whole, how was it won? How was it lost? I think it's pretty clear to see, to split these teams up and see how they play or how they prefer to play. Hawthorn were tearing up on transition. We were tearing up from stoppages. I wish I had the exact numbers for you, but I'm filming this so close after the game ended. But I'm sure that it's going to be night and day between scoring from stoppages and scoring from intercepts and back half transitions. I said this in the preview. We were going to get the upper hand in the midfield. They would get it everywhere else. I didn't think we would get that much of the ball out of ball ups though. 50 clearances to 31 is a massive differential. 39 stoppage clearances. I cannot remember the last time we had that much of the ball in the midfield. And we had down players too. I feel like it was just Merritt and Caldwell doing the heavy lifting. Imagine if we had more players firing out of there, because I feel like Sartas and Hobbs were a bit quiet. Perkins lifted late but was nowhere early. I thought we were really good in the midfield, but unfortunately it is just harder to score consistently if you're relying on the contest. For the most part, footy is an uncontested ball game, as in there's more uncontested footy than contested. So yes, we got close through this method, but it wasn't until late in the game where we actually started to score from other ways, from transition, and we only did that because Hawthorn ran out of legs. I thought Hawthorn were much better at getting the centre clearance goals when they needed them as well. So yes, they were scoring heavily from transition, but they did have some moments where they could at least pull the ball out of other areas and get goals from those methods. I thought Hawthorn as well, they just ran us off our legs. That's how they won the game. They ran and ran and ran. Amon was awesome. I think we got to talk about him as an All-Australian. He killed us. And I think we missed a trick by not playing Gresham early, to be honest, because once Gresham came on, there was less run from their halfbackers and more run and speed from us. But yeah, I just think the Hawks had the better suited game style for an MCG Friday night footy game. But really, for me, it's that first quarter. That's what lost us the game. We score first, we concede 6 in a row. 5 goals down at quarter time. And then the rest of the game, the margin's in the balance between about 15 points to 35 points. We won 2 quarters, they won 2 quarters. We're down by 27 at quarter time, lost the game by 26. So we end up actually winning the last 3 quarters by 1 point. And it's also the difference, I guess, between multiple goals putting a bit of pressure on, or multiple goals putting or banging the door down. Because think about the crowd and the vibe if those goals that brought us to within 4 goals were actually goals to bring us within 1 goal or even in front. It's that first quarter for me. You take that away and it's a really close game of footy. Unfortunately, we were just too slow to get started. And look, I don't actually think Hawthorn played that well. Their fans aren't going to be thrilled. They could have done so much better. But I also, on the flip side, don't think we were at our best either. I think we were far from it. We were really poor defensively at times. We let their small forwards go absolutely crazy. They got so much action in. Watson and Moore killed us on ground level. I thought we didn't take our chances. We kicked 1 less scoring shot but lost by about 5 goals. We had some important players underperforming. Shield was poor. Sartas and Hobbs didn't stand up. Mackay was nowhere early. Perkins was nowhere early. My boy Pryor had a little bit of a stinker. And the thing is, a lot went wrong for us. The injuries, obviously. Ridley and Langford going down, that is huge. You can't replace them. They played less than half the game. So yeah, a lot went wrong for us. For all that to go wrong and for us to not get smashed, that shows that we are ahead of where many think we were going to be. And that is Scott genuinely coaching well. That third quarter was awesome, and it was purely from the coach's box. Hawthorn are a bloody good team, and they're a really tough team to coach against because they have so much versatility. But I genuinely think Sam Mitchell had a headache after that. He was losing hair. It's promising for us to still have so much left to fix with our team because we did plenty wrong, but also to not be blown out of the water by a much, much better team. Hawthorn are much better than us. There was a lot to like from that game. I thought our young players really stood up. Kako was really a lot to deal with. Caddy took 4 contested marks. Reed is alive. That he is still standing. Roberts was good. Yeah, there was so much to like from the game, but there is definitely more for us to see this year, more to improve on. Overall, I'd say it's... Someone asked Scott in the presser, I think, if he's glass half full, glass half empty. I'm probably leaning towards glass half full with a few sour notes, mainly the injuries. In the end, the Hawks were just a more polished and more efficient team than us, but we were right in it. So yeah, you can't be too mad with a loss like that. You just got to hope that it isn't the peak, because if a loss, a 26-point loss, backs against the wall leads to wins against the Crows and Power, you're going to look at this game and have plenty of positives to think about it. But if we go on to lose our next few games and show nothing, yeah, there's no point for a performance like this. We want to see some wins off the back of this mature loss. We obviously have to wait and see how big those 2 outs are. Langford's done a hammy, which is, I don't know, 3 weeks minimum, depends on the grade. And Ridley, that's his 3rd concussion in 4 years. I really didn't like that act, especially on a player prone to concussion. So Scrimshaw is going to come under the microscope, but gee, I just hope that Ridley's all good. He's going to miss next week against the Crows, and hopefully not too much more than that. But let's get on to the votes. Let's end the video on a high. Leave yours down in the comments below. Alrighty, votes. 1 vote to Xavier Dersma. I was tossing up between about 5 or 6 different players here. I still don't know if Martin or Dersma or someone else deserves it. I thought Perkins was shocking early, but lifted so much late. Durham had some incredible moments. Jones was important. I've gone Dersma. I thought he was lively up forward. He defended well. He was brutal with his tackling. In the end, 19 touches, 2 goals, 7 tackles, 5 intercept possessions, which is the 2nd most in the team. He was very good. 2 votes, our captain, Zach Merritt. He is so dangerous resting forward when he hits the scoreboard. That first goal was lovely. The second was really timely. 26 touches, 2 goals, just good all night. And Jai Caldwell, 3 votes. I mean, there's no discussing this. There's getting touches, and then there's having a proper impact. He had 36 disposals. Anyone can do that, but it's the way he won those ground balls and that contested footy. He was so clean with it, so composed under pressure. He's looking ominous right now. 10 clearances, by the way. If we can get another mid in there helping, that's a dangerous engine room. And my role player, I was going to go Mason Redmond for his negating role on Will Day, but Jade Gresham, that is exactly what you want from a sub. He came on late, changed the flow of the game, impacted, provided us so much run. In a half a footy, he had 12 touches, 4 score involvements, and a goal. Some really important moments in the link as a chain as well. I think he just has to start against the Crows now. But yeah, that is that late night review, which will be posted on time today, I guess. Sorry if it sounds rushed and tired, and if it does sound rushed and tired, it's because it is. But yeah, I'd obviously would have liked the win, but I think that was as mature a loss as we could have asked for given the circumstances. The better team won, they definitely deserved to win, but we didn't make ourselves look silly. That's all for now, Bomber fans. We move on to the Crows game. Before then, we'll have some player ratings out either tomorrow or Monday, but yeah, Crows game next Saturday. Should have some, I'm guessing, some debutants for that as well with the injuries. Maybe Lewis Hayes, maybe Tom Edwards. We'll see. Yeah, first home game for the year. Get out to it if you're not already. Cheers for watching. Like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Leave your votes in down below. And as always, go Bombers.